What's up, Godfather?
All right,
Yes, sir. I'm doing great. Yourself?
I'm doing cool.
Yes, sir. I'm gonna introduce. I'm Dwayne Adams. I'm gonna let him introduce himself. Go ahead.
Yeah, my name is Ryant Diew from Oakland. Went to Fremont High School. After that, the College of Alameda, University of Pacific,
Right.
and finished at Cal State Hayward, which is now East Bay.
Yes, sir. So we gonna jump right into it. I've been knowing you, Diew, since I was like 13 or 14. I'm 59 now. We went to Fremont together. You was a senior. I was a sophomore, and you, this man right here, got one of the most exciting jump shots I've seen to this day. I mean, even in the 40 and over. Yeah, no, for sure. So let's go back with your history. You grew up. We had a guy, Ed Nelson, on here. I know you know Ed.
Yeah, Eddie.
From the village, and this is where you grew up at.
Yeah,
Okay.
I grew up. Yeah, that's actually where it all started.
Okay.
In that village, and I was actually late to playing basketball. Like,
Okay.
when all other kids were playing all the sports, basketball, football, baseball, I was just hooked on skateboards and jumping, riding my bike, doing wheelies.
Okay.
And it just never was really into sports.
Okay.
And actually, I used to be the last kid was picked. Like, they used to argue, like the older kids. So we were like the Kings, I don't know if you remember the King brothers, but it was like 5 brothers.
Oh yeah, Kevin.
No, this Lewis.
Lewis King. Yeah, I remember Lewis. Yeah.
And they used to look out for me. But when we were little.
Okay. When you say little, give me that age.
Probably like, third, fourth, fifth grade.
And we talking about basketball.
In basketball or baseball or whatever sport it was.
Okay.
And we would play the neighborhood game. I was always the last player. They used to argue who had Kiki. That was my nickname.
That was your
Kiki.
nickname,
Yeah,
right.
Like, we had Kiki last time. You know what I mean? Like, why we gotta have him this time? Like, man, that's how terrible I was. So I never really liked basketball until one day. But I always had a fascination with height, being tall. Right, and so one day I was in the library at school with Lockwood Elementary.
Lockwood, okay.
And we were in the library, and I saw this book from Lou Alcindor to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, because he was tall.
He was tall.
Like 7'2".
7'2", right.
And so the book was interesting. I was like, oh, okay, this guy tall. So I wanted to read this book. And so when I read the book, I started becoming fascinated with basketball. And I was like, whoa, I want to play basketball.
This is in the third, fourth grade?
This was in the fourth grade.
Fourth grade, wow.
This is in the fourth grade. And that's when I actually first picked up a basketball.
Okay.
And I just picked it up. I didn't really, try to master it, but that was the first time I even touched it. Okay. Kind of, still doing my bicycle, skateboard thing. And then I think I revisited it by sixth grade, just trying to practice. And so in the village, we used to have this alley that ran from East Fort in the 65th village. We had a
So you grew up in 65th, not 69?
I grew up in 65th.
65th,
Yeah,
okay.
Eddie grew up in 69.
Got it, okay.
And but in the 65th village, we used to have this alley that ran from East 14th all the way through the back of the village.
Right.
And so the telephone poles used to run along that alley.
I remember that.
And so
grass all around.
It was dirt. It was actually dirt, because I would ride my bikes and jump my ramps in the alley.
Okay.
But I started being interested in basketball, and so I saw a milk crate, one of those blue
milk crates, old school milk crates.
Yeah, and punched a hole in it, and I tacked it on the phone pole.
Wow.
And that was my first basketball hoop. And so I used to just hoop on that little phone pole in the alley in the village. I eventually moved it to, I don't know if you remember how the village was, but before, over every entrance, there was like a little roof.
Okay.
Right? And then so I moved it off the
it was over the porch and everything.
Over the porch,
yeah. Exactly.
And so I moved it off the telephone pole, put it on the roof in the back part of our apartment, right? But it was a lot of dirt and stuff back there.
Okay.
And that's where the clotheslines would be. Well, my neighbor next door, he used to get a little irritated because I was back there just playing,
And the ball was
all the
bouncing and
kids and the ball,
everything,
and it was dirtying up their clothes.
Right.
And so one night I was sleeping and I just heard somebody tearing down my basketball court. I didn't really trip.
You in the 5th or 6th grade now?
I was about maybe like 6th grade.
Okay.
Tearing down my basketball court, but I didn't really bother with it.
Right.
And then I heard something on the other side.
Okay.
Right. When I woke up in the morning, I noticed that he had built a real basketball court in the front yard of our roof in the front.
All right.
And man, that was like I couldn't believe he did that.
So he didn't tear down the other one. He
tore down the other one because it was dirtying up the clothes, and put it on the other side. But he put a real hoop up there.
Wow.
And so I used to play on that court all day long, man. Robbie Nelson.
Yeah, because Robbie Nelson called me one day and said, this is when we were a little bit older, and we'll get to that, of course. And Robbie Nelson had called me and said, Dwayne, you wouldn't believe it. I'm like, what? Diew out here shooting in the rain.
Yeah, man.
He was the first person I heard. He said it was storming.
I'm not going to even lie, man. That's, I coach.
Right.
That's why I'm like I am today.
Exactly.
In terms of demanding with the kids, because I know me, I played all the time. I started late. And so I had to catch up. And my mother, who never knew anything about basketball, never really came to any of my games, maybe like out of maybe 1,000 games in my lifetime, probably came to 3 or 4.
Right.
But the one thing that she constantly used to always say to me is, there's always somebody out there better. And which in a little kid's mind, it's like, I'm thinking of somebody in New York, I'm thinking of somebody in DC, and I'm like, okay, they're working, I gotta work more than them. So I just played all the time. I took my ball everywhere. So everybody in the village, I remember all the grown-ups are like, well, this boy just stay with this ball. I'm dribbling in it to school. I'm just dribbling going to the store. I'm shooting all the time. Yeah, I just been, and so you're right. It's raining. I'm out there shooting in the rain. It's dark. I remember my mother, I would go up to Havens Court. And shoot. It's 9 o'clock. It's pitch dark. You can't even see out there. My mother is like, I can hear her yelling. You give me feel, Kiki, bring your ass home.
Straight up.
You know what I mean? Like, and I'm
just
like, I'm just out there just shooting. And so, yeah, man, I was just really obsessed with it.
You got locked in at early age.
I got locked in, man. But it was funny. 7th grade, I made the basketball team at Havens Court.
Okay.
And I started feeling myself a little bit.
Okay.
And back then, kids could play everything. So I had older kids in my neighborhood, and was this one kid by the name of Keith Bennett. He was like a couple of years older than me. Keith played.
He was kind of big.
Played baseball.
Right.
No, he was a shortstop for Arizona State. He got drafted by the Cleveland Indians.
Right.
Tremendous athlete, but he can play basketball too.
Okay.
And he was a little older than me. We're playing 1-on-1.
This is when you in the 7th grade.
7th grade. I was at Havens Court, and I'm feeling myself.
And I want, before you go, Kenneth, was he older than you or younger?
He was older than me. He was 2 years older.
So he was in the 9th grade when you
he
were
was in the 9th grade. And I remember we playing 1-on-1, and he was just killing me, right?
Okay.
And I just remember him just, we going, and I'm just trying to go to the right, and he just smacking everything. And he was like, you can't go left. You can't go left. You can't go left. And I'm just fake to the left and go back to the right. He's slapping that up out of here, man. And I'm snot coming out my nose. And I'm just frustrated, you know what I mean? You don't even play on the basketball team. How you beat me?
Yeah, because you had a chance that he was a baseball player.
Right. It just wasn't like that. And so that's funny. Today, well, later on, you fast forward in college, I remember playing at Alameda. And I remember the scouting report was send him right. He only goes left. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm confused. I'm right-handed.
Right.
Like, fool.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I go, cool. You know what I mean?
Anyway. Right.
And so that made me a little harder to guard, because I didn't realize until then that I overcompensated from that 7th grade butt whooping that I got.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And to where I just worked on my left all the time. I went to the left all the time because I didn't want to be weak in anything. Exactly. And so I was just obsessed with being good.
Wow. Just from that one thing. So
from that one thing, yeah.
When you were like in the 7th grade, because like you said, you was fascinated with height.
Yes.
Do you consider yourself to have been tall at that age?
I was average.
You was
I
average.
I was tall to most of the kids.
Okay. And that clears up my question.
Yeah, I was tall to most of the kids. I was always one of the taller kids,
right.
but as basketball players are just tall.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But 6'3" in terms of
right.
height, I'm little.
Right. When it comes to the basketball world,
with a regular person,
right?
Yeah, I was among the tallest.
Okay.
And if I wanted to be taller, I wanted to be 7 feet tall.
Yeah, absolutely. We all thought about that. Right. Absolutely. So you in the 7th grade, how did that season go? How did your 8th grade season go? And what did you learn and as you went along?
I was going to Havens Court.
Right.
I barely made the team.
In the 7th grade?
In the 7th grade.
Okay.
Because remember, I had just started playing just maybe a year before that.
Exactly.
Every day.
Right.
And so I didn't even know Lockwood had a basketball team. So I was kind of behind.
Right, because you was always into, like you said, your skateboarding and riding your bike and everything. Right.
And so 7th grade year, I rode the bench the whole time pretty much.
Right.
I think I got in one game, and my only basket was I shot a jump shot from the free throw line, and it hit the back iron and hit the top of the backboard and went in.
Wow.
But they wiped it out.
They wiped it out because it touched the top of the backboard.
That was my only bucket the whole year. And but again, as young kids get better, if they just put in the work, by the next year, I got to the point to where I earned a starting spot.
See.
1 year later.
1 year later.
By 9th grade, I was actually one of the better players. But still way below like Joe Henry's and the Greg Ottaways. These guys had been playing basketball, and they were just light years ahead of me.
Exactly.
And so I didn't, even though I was pretty good and I had pretty good games at Havens Court, and we had a really good team. I didn't realize how far I was off until I tried out. I was invited to try out for Billy Green's team.
I played for Green Machine. Absolutely, because he would always hold them at Havens Court.
Yeah, and he had the best players in the city.
And I want to add to this too before we move on. A lot of people don't realize, because I grew up around the same time as you did. In Oakland, even if you wasn't that good, the homeboys was your mentors.
Yeah.
And they're gonna teach you, hey man, this is what you got to do. This is what you're missing, blah, blah, blah. So did that help carry you on and help out your confidence? I mean, because they will dog you.
Roast you.
They'll roast you. I mean, that's what they'll dog you.
You know what? I to be honest, I didn't really get a lot of that earlier.
Okay.
I was, after that tryout, I felt like.
And this is for the Green Machine.
For the Green Machine.
Because then it wasn't just the people that went to your school.
Yeah, it was from everywhere,
exactly.
man. And I'm looking there, and I'm looking at like Joe Henry. Yeah. Man, and he doing these crosses, man. This cat did a 360 jump shot. He shot with the left hand, right hand. He was so big. And I'm like, he
was advancing his skills.
Man, he could see everything. I'm like, oh my God, this kid, he's going to the NBA. You know what I mean? I'm looking at everybody, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm not on this level. Didn't make the team, and but it didn't stop me from working. Right? And so then we get to the next year at Fremont.
You saw it.
And I got, actually, nobody know, I got cut at Fremont my 10th grade year. But Markulis thought I was borderline, so he kept me to do stats for a few games and just told me to come to practice. And then he eventually put me on a team.
Got it.
But again,
but that goes back to the passion.
Yes.
Never give up.
Never give up. Never give up.
Never give up.
And so he I didn't play that much, you know what I mean? But when I got in, I used to get buckets in garbage time.
All right. And that helps out.
Yeah.
It helps out. You say, I
started getting buckets.
Level,
and then 11th grade year, we had a great class that come in. With Henry Turner, Anthony Smith, all these guys, Richard Curtis, they were pretty good. So they had to all play JV. And so there was I was in middle spot where our older kids were good. That Fremont team, 82 had 11 seniors, only 2 juniors. So there was really no spot for me. So in 11th grade year, I got cut. But Alamano thought enough of me at the time to just keep me close, and he just said, Ryan, I want you to keep statistics, which was a really good thing because I was able to understand that basketball had all aspects to it: assists, steals. You know what I mean? I just like field goal percentage. You know what I mean? Looking at everything, free throw percentage, and it made me just see different parts of the game that I had to be good at.
Yes, sir.
And so, so I kept stats my whole 11th grade year. And then something clicked at the end of my 11th grade year.
You kept the stats. You didn't get on the team.
I didn't get on the team at all. I kept the stats.
Your whole junior year.
But I kept working on my game.
You could have played JV.
No, I wasn't. Wasn't no room for me to play JV. He had the younger players.
So JV, because varsity had 11
They had a stacked squad.
Yeah,
and it was just, they had a stacked youngsters coming up. You know what I mean? So I'm just an odd man out.
Exactly.
But he kept me close.
Okay.
And so that was an important year for me.
Correct.
Just to understand other aspects of the game.
Like you said, you're a late bloomer.
Yes.
You're starting to feel yourself, and you got the confidence. You know you can do it. You just need that chance.
And so I used to play at lunchtime.
Yes, sir.
And I remember at the end of that year, playing at Fremont outside on the courts, and I remember I'm hooping and I see somebody that was like in front of the basket, and I just took off and just dunked it right in their face, right? And that, man,
wow.
That, I don't know, just
pivotal moment.
Man, that was a pivotal moment because at that moment I started getting confidence.
Yes, sir.
And so, you know how Alamano back in the day, during our tryouts, we didn't just have basic tryouts. We tried out through intramurals. Where you kept the stats.
Everything.
For everything, right?
Yes, sir.
And so in that intramurals, I think I was averaging like 35, 36 points a game. And my game just started clicking.
Now this is going into the 12th grade.
Towards the end of the school year of my 11th grade year, getting ready for summer league.
Trying out for summer league. Right,
yes. Right. And in intramurals, that was my first opportunity, and I first started scoring like just, crooked numbers, as you would say.
Right,
you know what I mean? Like, and how that came of me scoring like that was just me sitting down watching Anthony Smith. You remember?
Oh, I remember Ant Smith. Oh, man. Yeah, Smurf.
Ant Smith was best scorer I ever seen in my life.
One of the best guards come out there. Could have played at any level.
It was incredible, man.
Incredible.
And this is a story I'll tell you about that one too. How explosive he was.
Right. Because he was a year younger than you.
He was a year younger than me.
But
man, this cat could just score in bunches.
At will.
And so I remember playing Anthony Smith in an intramural game.
Right.
And he was averaging about 32. I was averaging about 35.
Okay.
So I'm thinking, I'm just as good right now. Right. And I'm guarding Anthony Smith, and through 3 quarters, he had 8 points. And I'm just guarding him. And I'm in my mind, I'm like, I'm holding Anthony Smith to 8 points. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so, but he knew how to mix the game, you know what I mean?
Right.
Inside to outside. Right. So he blew by me, scored. Blew by me again, scored. So now, fourth quarter.
Fourth quarter now. Right.
And so now I backed up off of him. Then he hit a jumper.
Right.
Man, that man scored about 30 points in that fourth quarter.
That's Anthony Smith.
God! It just started going.
Absolutely.
And I remember after that game.
Okay.
I sat there and No, I probably realized this before. This is why I'm talking about Anthony Smith.
Okay.
I realized it before, and why I started scoring. I used to look at Anthony Smith and I used to say, okay, I shoot just as good as he shoots. Right? I'm just as quick.
Right.
And I'm taller.
Yes.
And I used to always say, why does he score and I don't? Right. And I'm like, oh, he shoots all the time.
Yes.
That was all I did.
That's all you needed. That was your motivation right there.
I started pulling everything, man.
Yep, absolutely.
And I just became super aggressive, right? To the point where I put so much stress on defenses because I was constantly looking to attack.
Exactly.
And that's where my scoring came in. And
go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and then so that's just how, then going into the senior year.
I came in at that time.
Yeah,
I came in as a sophomore and you was a senior. Yeah. We used to sit back and watch y'all.
Yes.
So I was playing JV. I see you at practice killing.
Man, it was, and that was the crazy part. Going into senior year, it still wasn't guaranteed. Even though I made the summer league team, and I did that at the end of the intramurals, and in my junior year, I still wasn't a lock for me to play on the varsity. my senior year.
Exactly.
And so we playing intramurals, and now I'm leading the league in scoring. I'm averaging like 39 points a game.
And that was big.
And man, I'm just killing everybody, right? And I remember Alamano pulled me to the side and was like, Ryan, I need to talk to you. And I'm like, what's up, Mr. Alamano? And he said, for you to make this team, I need you to rebound. Man, I think I was averaging about 6 or 7 rebounds before then.
Right.
I wound up averaging 14 and a half. I remember the exact number, 14.7 rebounds a game. Because I was going to make that damn team.
Right,
I was having 20 rebound games.
Absolutely.
And so I remember averaging 39 points a game and 14.7 rebounds.
So you was out there getting them.
And so when it was time to make the team,
right.
He used to put the list up.
I remember
and
that.
I remember getting to school and my heart was
yes,
just
sir.
racing. Man, I looked at the list and my name was the first name on the list.
You was like, I'm in there.
I was like, I finally made it. Like Fremont.
Yeah, because it was tough.
Man,
I remember.
We had players at that school.
Because it was tough for us to even make JV.
Yeah.
Some of the juniors had to play JV.
Man, that was a tough school, man. It was people who didn't make the team that became stars when they transferred to other schools.
Absolutely.
So it was, man, that was like one of my proudest moments, man.
Yes,
and so I had a decent, senior year. I averaged about 8 points a game, but we were so stacked.
You had Greg Attaway, rest in peace, brother.
Who played in Arizona, got a scholarship to Arizona State right out of high school.
Anthony Smith.
Mario Long, Henry Turner.
Mario Long was a force.
Yeah, man.
Henry Turner was exciting.
And then you had Richard Curtis, who was really good. Kevin Williams.
Could jump out the gym.
C.L. Handy, which is Phil Handy's brother.
Yes,
big brother.
sir. He couldn't play on Friday.
Yeah, he couldn't play, because he was a Jehovah's Witness.
Exactly. Yeah, and then you had Kevin Love, who was an Elliot Bivens.
Yeah, Elliot Bivens. And we had a squad, man.
And I want to say this: when I played for Fremont, and you played. Like I said, we was playing the same time. I was on JV. A lot of people didn't understand that if you played for Alamont and Marcoulis, they didn't care nothing about your scoring.
No, man.
You had to run stairs. You had to be in shape. You had to be a team player, and you had to have good grades.
Yeah.
If other than you, I've seen them cut people that was good. It was like, nah, Marcoulis like, he ain't a team player. Go.
Yeah, they didn't care, man. Alamano, my introduction to Mr. Alamano was my 10th grade year.
Right.
When, again, remember I told you we would sign up through tryouts.
Exactly.
I mean, through the intramurals.
Intramurals, absolutely.
And I guess this one kid, he didn't sign up in time.
Right.
And he said, Mr. Alamano, can I get on a team? And Mr. Alamano said, son, I'm sorry, it's too late.
It's too late.
And he said, well, Mr. Alamano, how do you know I might be the best player that you? He said, son, if I ever thought about things like that, I would never be a good coach.
Wow.
And I was like, oh, shoot. That was my introduction. Like, oh, yeah, he didn't trip. He just
had them John Wooden glasses on.
I had the utmost respect for that man, man. Yes. But that man is the one who really, I credit to teaching me how to be as accurate as I am. Exactly. Because he used to make us, I don't know if you remember, before we leave practice, we had to shoot one-hand free throws.
Free throws, I remember that.
I didn't realize that time that was form shooting.
Right.
And so he used to sit me on the table, and because I used to shoot with my elbow
out like this, right.
And he used to say, it's easy to get your shot blocked. Right. And so he said, you need to be in the bed, and he used to go, you used to be like this. And I used to lay in my bed, and I used to just shoot up and down, how that ball going down, shooting on the side of the backboard, and just shooting one-hand free throws. And all of a sudden, man, that little adjustment, man, just made me just, man.
You was lethal.
Man, it just, I felt like I can just shoot from anywhere, man. Exactly. Like, from half court to, anything. And then I learned from Anthony Smith, because I was pretty quick, that I can blow by anybody. So that get people on their heels. Right. So if I blow by you, now I can mix it up, because if you play off me thinking I'm a drive, now I'm just gonna pull. Right. Now if you get up on me, I'm gonna drive. And so I just constantly just played cat and mouse.
So you became a student of the game through adversity.
Yeah, man.
Makes a difference.
And I used to hunt extra points. Was really I would have a steal, and somebody was running on me, I would slow down intentionally, because I knew they thought they was going to block it, but I already knew what I was going to do, and I would just jump into them, jump in the air, hear the whistle, and then scoop the ball off the glass and get 3, because I didn't just want the 2, I wanted 3.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So I used to just be looking for them, getting the buckets.
That's hustling. That's scavenger.
Yeah.
I mean, you really. I didn't know, because I watched your college game, which I have some previews of. One day, I remember it was years ago. I watched it. I said, man, just by watching, I said, you wore me out.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is in the past. I'm looking at your game when you was in college. You whooped this one guy, this one team. You whooped them so bad that I was tired just from watching. I said, man, remember, I called you. I said, man, what, did you have a Red Bull before that game or what? Because now, by you telling me this, now I'm starting to realize that's how you was able to move without the ball. You knew how to get free, everything.
I would always, because I played all the time. Man, I remember one day, I grew up playing in the Rainbow Center. Me,
Exactly.
Eddie, all of the little D, we used to always be at the Rainbow Center, and I would play all day long. And I remember when I was at Alameda, I had a game at 7 o'clock that night.
Okay.
And but I went up there, I just had to play.
At Rainbow,
so I get up in the morning, go up to Rainbow, and I'm playing, I said I was going to play a couple of games.
Right.
Man, I wound up, Diew was about 5:30, man. I've been playing all damn day, and I was up there like, damn, and I'm like, I got a game tonight. I'm going to be tore up.
And that's what time the games start, at 7?
7 o'clock.
Yeah, 7 o'clock.
Right,
yeah.
And so I'm sitting up there like, man, I'm not going to even, that's when I realized, and not to that extreme, that shooting early before your game is beneficial. Yes. Man, I wound up scoring 45 points that night. Wow. Because the rim just seemed so big, because I had been playing all day.
So you had a rhythm.
I had a rhythm already. So even, it didn't, and I could just run all day. I didn't really feel like I didn't get tired.
Right. We're going to definitely talk about that, because we used to go play when we played for college.
Yeah.
We would practice at college and then go catch the birds.
We would just
go
play,
to UC Berkeley.
Go from gym to gym.
And just play.
Yeah.
So while you in high school, growing up in the village, growing up in Oakland, crack era, what were your challenges outside of the basketball?
My challenges were, just my environment. My environment was pretty rough, man. As a kid, we didn't have much. My mom was like 16 when she had me. Okay. Right.
And you the oldest.
I'm the oldest, and I have my little sister.
We're gonna definitely talk about.
Yeah. Who
rest in peace, Grace.
Who passed.
Love
whatever.
Grace.
But she fell prey to the crack era, right? And wind up dying because of AIDS, whatever. But.
And you were how old when she passed away?
I was. My baby. When her son is my oldest. He was 6 at the time. So I don't know. I probably was like in my early 30s, maybe.
Right. So I went to school with Grace as well, because Grace was 1 year older than me.
Yes.
So Grace was always a soldier.
Yeah, Grace could fight.
She could fight. I had to come get you sometime. Like when we was at college Alameda, she went off. I said, I gotta go find dude.
My sister was tough, man.
She was tough, but she was sweet.
She was tough. She was man. I love my sister,
she was
man.
Bubbly.
My sister, man, she used to love me to death.
She
man.
sure did.
Yeah.
There's no question about that. And she rest in peace. Even though fell victim to that situation, that's your sister.
Yeah. And so those were some of the challenges. I remember 2 days in a row. I came home to yellow tape around my porch, right? Somebody shot.
Yep.
The next day, somebody was stabbed, right?
Exactly.
Right on my porch. I used to see people, stabbed, shot.
Right.
Man, I've seen it all. You go to the dumpster, a body in there. You know what I mean? So I grew up in that environment.
This was when you were a teenager.
This when I was a teenager.
So the effect of that, did that make you that much more hungry? So
it made me hungrier. Where the average person in that environment kind of falls prey to it. Cool. I used to look out the window and always used to say, why did I have to grow up in this? You know what I mean? Right. And so in my mind, that made me play harder. Like I said, I got to get out of here.
Because you was passionate.
Right? And so, man, I look out the window, I see task force, got like, a couple people on the ground, got their feet on their head, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and I'm just like, man, I got to get up out of here, And it was funny because during that time, when you look at New Jack City, the village during that time was actually like New Jack City.
Absolutely.
I mean, they had all the the entrances in the village used to be blocked off with people who had walkie-talkies.
Yes, sir.
And so if police was coming through, they was they was real sophisticated. And I remember in the village, right outside my window, they used to have their little stash.
Okay.
You know, and they would, you know, it would be underneath the, like, I don't know, at the end of the projects, it would it was a unit that had stairs.
Okay.
Well, underneath those stairs, it was like a little cubby. And they built some wood there, and that was like the stash. Man, the dolphins would be lined up, man. It'd be like 100 to 250 dolphins just waiting like they was at the store, man.
At the store, waiting for
right outside my window.
Right outside
waiting to get they crack.
You a teenager.
I'm a teenager seeing this, and so that was some of the challenges, you know, that I grew up with, man, and just not having things. You know what I mean?
Right,
like,
exactly.
You know, my mother used to work really hard.
She did her best.
She did the best she
Absolutely.
can do, but she would buy me shoes during the basketball season.
Right.
She couldn't buy me no more.
Right.
You know what I mean? So they had to last me the whole time. So I would have like cardboard in my shoe. You know what I mean? I used to put cardboard in my shoe. I'm playing in the gym. I'm slipping and sliding.
Right. But you get through it.
Man, but man, I did not let it stop me.
It built the character.
Yeah. You know.
Right.
And so
I commend you for that, brother.
Right on, man.
And to moms, you know,
yeah.
She stuck it out.
Yeah, man.
She didn't give in. She didn't let you succumb to none of that.
Yeah, man. Nah, my mother
and
was
Grace will look after
lady.
you too.
Yeah.
She was your younger sister, but she acted like she was your older sister, right? Because you know where we worked at, she reminded me of I told you she reminded me of a combination of Samosa and a little bit of Miss Lacey.
Yeah, a lot of Miss Lacey.
Yeah, she was tough. Because Miss Lacey, she's sweet, but she's tough.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying? And Samosa, you know, she always bubbly and everything.
Yeah, that's how my sister was really funny.
She was.
Even when the day she died, man, she I think, you know, she was about to die. And I remember she passed gas.
Right.
And she said, what she said, she made a joke.
Right.
And I'm sitting up there like,
right.
Girl, to the end. You
bro.
Just silly.
So she stayed who she was.
Man, she was just funny as hell, man.
Yeah, I remember.
Because we used to have roaches in the village, right?
Right.
I remember we have company over. We had the small TV, it was black and white with the foil antenna.
And on the antenna, right.
And I remember, you know, I had all my friends over and we were watching TV. And I remember a roach crawled up behind the TV up the wall.
Right.
And my sister was like, wouldn't you know it? He said, they never come out until you have company.
And that's when you was younger.
Man,
I heard her say that.
So my sister was hilarious.
Yeah, she was, man. I remember when we was at Alameda College and somebody made her mad and she told me, she said, hey, baby, come here. I said, well, she took off everything. She said, hold it. I held her trench coat. She had her backpack and her umbrella.
Yeah.
And she had on dress shoes and she went to work.
Yeah.
And I told my partner, I think little Gary, I said, Gary, hold this. And I ran and got you. And you was the only one that
me and my sister were fighters, man.
Right.
We were fighters
no question about that.
Because if she couldn't do it, she would go get me.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And so we used to fight.
Yeah, you had to defend yourself.
Yeah, I'm not a lot, man. Just always was quick to fight.
Absolutely.
I had to grow up.
We all did it. Absolutely. So that's good. That was the challenge, and like I said, it built character.
Yeah.
So from what I remember, when I was in the 10th grade, you was in the 12th. You didn't really get a chance to play that much in high school, you know. And I always thought that you'd have been like at least one of the starters, a sixth man at least. So you didn't let that stop you.
No.
So tell me about the story when you was getting out of high school. Alamano still had a heart. He come to you. He said, your style of play, you should go play where?
Oh yeah. So at the time, Chabot was the powerhouse.
Yes, it was.
JUCO.
Because Kurt Webster was there.
Kurt Webster, Dre Walker, my boy Sean Hadnot, who was that's my ride or die.
That's your ride or die, no doubt about it.
Yeah, you know, they all went to Chabot. Kenny Winters, Ed Carver.
Right.
Them was some cold dudes.
There was some cold dudes from a climate.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so everybody was going to Chabot back then. They had the reputation. Okay. So of course I wanted to go to Chabot.
Right.
I remember Mr. Alamano came to me and said, Ryan, where you thinking about going to school? And I said, I think I'm gonna go to Chabot. And he said, no, you shouldn't go there. Don't go there. Okay. And I said, why, Mr. Alamano? He said, I know what you want. And he said, I have a friend who wants you. He said, is it okay for me to set up a meeting with you? That was Coach McHugh.
Yep.
So Coach McHugh came up to Fremont. We were in the office, Mr. Alamano's office,
Right.
and he pretty much told me if I came to Alameda, that he would run everything. He would make sure he would run everything pretty much through me, right?
Wow.
And that man, I got love for that man to this day, man.
That's the coach.
Man, I got to the school, man. It was me to the right, me to the left,
right.
1-4 flat,
Right.
1-4 over here, me
Right.
going. Man, it was just everything was me, right? And man, I wind up, being, averaging like second in the state in scoring. I averaged almost 30 points a game.
This is JUCO. This is Alameda. Now he's talking about Alameda College because see, that's what I'm saying. It's about the heart. The souls was really into basketball back then.
Yes.
The coach that didn't really play you 11th or 12th grade, he still looked out for you and said, hey, look, you should go here, and it set you up.
It set me up, man. I'm so grateful to Mr. Alamano, man, because that right there, I don't know how it would have turned out if I would have went to Chabot, right?
Exactly.
If I would have went into be just one of the other guys, right?
Right.
But
same situation you was in high school.
But when I went to Alameda, man, he gave me that confidence because I remember doing the tryouts. And I guess the return leading scorer guy, he just passed, teammate of mine, Brian Oliver, RIP.
Oh, I didn't know Brian. I didn't know Oliver passed away.
Man, I just saw it on Facebook last week.
I remember him.
Yeah,
was
man.
Tony Hamilton still there?
Tony Hamilton wasn't there. I had to recruit Tony Hamilton.
Okay, so because
that was the next year. But my freshman year, Brian Oliver and Anthony, what is Big Tone's name? The 6'7" center. They were our two top players returning.
Okay.
And
was Gillette there?
No, Gillette wasn't there.
No,
I was a freshman. This was my freshman year. Those are all guys who were younger.
Oh, Duncan was too.
They was all. No, Duncan was a sophomore.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oscar's son, brother.
Pig
brother.
Pig.
Yeah.
Pig was So during the tryout, I remember Oliver. He realized, okay, this is the hot shot recruit. So he tried to go at me.
Okay. This is doing intramurals.
This is doing the tryouts of Alameda.
Right.
And I just remember kind of like destroying him a little bit, just ripping him, and he just couldn't guard me.
Right.
And I was like, oh, okay, I'm starting to get pretty good. You know what I mean? Like I didn't.
He coming at me like this.
Yeah,
and
I didn't realize, and so that gave me more confidence. And then I went up to Cal State Hayward, and they used to have open run.
Okay.
And Lorenzo Romar was playing
for the
he was a starting point guard for the Warriors.
Right.
And I remember in that open gym, man, I was just killing, like hitting shots all over. Man, nobody could guard me.
That's when they had the rubber floor, right?
Man, I don't even remember.
Yeah, I think it was the rubber floor because I played when we played up there in the Northfield section.
Yes, right. And I was just on, and I remember Romar after the game, after we was playing, he said, young man, where do you go to school?
Right.
And I said, I go to Alameda. He said, how old are you? I said, I'm 18. He said, man, you nice.
Wow.
And this is a starting point guard for the Warriors.
He was a lefty too, wasn't he?
Yeah,
he was a lefty, yeah.
And I'm sitting up there like, at that point, man, you couldn't tell me nothing, man.
Exactly.
You couldn't tell me nothing. He validated me, right?
Straight up, right.
And so from that, I wound up averaging like 19 as a freshman.
Okay.
And in like almost 30 as a sophomore.
Wow.
And so, but the first year was kind of interesting,
right? Because
I shot out the gate, scoring pretty high. But I remember the sophomores, Anthony Johnson, that's the big guy.
Anthony Johnson,
and I think it was this kid named Maury. I forgot Maury's last name.
Okay.
And Brian Oliver, they all pulled me to the side and was like, Kiki, can we talk to you?
Okay.
I was like,
yeah,
sure.
Doing your
freshman year.
Okay.
I was like, sure. And it was like, hey man, you a freshman. You got another year. This is our sophomore year. Can you they was basically asking me, can I kind of just take my feet off the gas a little bit?
Right.
And it was just funny. I was like, I didn't trip. I was you right. I was a freshman.
Right.
Okay, lead. You my OG.
Right. I respect
and
it.
I didn't really trip. And so my average kind of dipped. I wound up averaging like 18.
Right.
And 18 or 19. It was under 20.
Under 20, okay.
And but I remember, and this is my first thought, that not everybody wants to take the shots, or not everybody wants the pressure, right?
Right.
So what they wanted was me to not shoot as much, but it was just ironic that the last 5 minutes, everything was coming to me.
Everything was coming.
Now you expected me to just turn it on.
Right. After you done slowed me down.
And I'm sitting up
Right.
there like, oh, everybody don't want that.
They just want to shine. And then
Yeah.
when it come down to the pressure, they want you to.
Yeah, and for me, I didn't care. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like
Right.
you can't make it if you don't take it. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? And
Bottom
so
line.
that's when I first realized that, man, you just can't just care. Like you just
Exactly.
you just can't care, and not everybody wants that pressure.
Right.
And
That's
so
true.
yeah,
That is true.
and you know, a lot of people want to be stars, man, but you got to be able to walk in those shoes.
Absolutely. Meaning that if you take the shot and you miss it,
Yeah, you got to be willing to deal with the criticism
yes.
and all of that. You got to
Right.
have, you know, I try to tell my kids, you got to have a lot of, I don't give a fuck in my game, in your
Right.
game. You gotta have that.
You got to believe it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
this comes from the preparation of being a late bloomer.
Yes.
From the 6th grade on up, going through the challenges, getting whooped in the 7th grade by the
Yeah.
9th grader
Yeah.
who you thought you was better
I
than.
thought I was good.
And
yeah.
then he enhanced your game by saying you can't go left, and you took that personal.
Yes.
Then you started working on your left,
Overcompensated to the point everybody thought I was a lefty.
a lefty.
Yeah.
And then you go out there and light them up.
Yeah.
Like I said, I got footage and film of you, like I said, this one game. And I was like, ooh, because what happened was, by me, I left Fremont and went to St. Elizabeth my junior year, but you already had graduated. So when I'm at St. Elizabeth, I'm hearing, man, Diew up there. I'm like, Diew? I said, I know Diew. A lot of people, they knew you, but they didn't know you because they didn't grow up in that area. And I'm like, I know. They're like, oh, yeah. Then and by my senior year, I was hearing about you because that was your sophomore year in college. I'm like, man. And then when I come to Alameda, you there.
Yeah.
And that year was when you was coaching me.
Yes.
You was coaching me.
Because I was another thing that I want to bring up, man. It was a different era.
Right.
So my books wasn't in order. That's the only reason that I coached you. My first 2 years at Alameda, I didn't really do anything in the classroom. I was just there to play basketball.
You was play basketball.
Right. And so I think we played against American River
Okay.
Junior College.
This your
And
sophomore year.
This my sophomore year. And I remember the next day, Loyola Marymount coach, Jay Hillock,
Okay.
came to the campus. And
By then you 6'3".
I'm 6'3".
6'3",
Yeah,
yeah.
and I was, like I said, I was one of the top scorers in the state, right?
Okay.
And I think I had like 38 against American River,
Wow.
right? And he so the man came up to me, I think he was in McHugh's office and he met me.
Okay.
McHugh called me to the office. He met me outside, but he had his hand behind his back, and he said, "Hey, how you doing?" I said, "How you doing?" I said, "Yeah, Jay Hillock." I said, "Yeah, Ryan Diew." He
Right.
said, "Yeah, I know who you are. I saw you play last night, man." He said, "You're a hell of a basketball player, man."
Okay.
And I said, "Thank you." And he said, "But let me ask you one question." And he pulls out my transcript, and he said, "What the hell you been doing the past year and a half?"
Right.
And he said, and he just went, and he just put the thing he put it down. We found a little place, and he said, "Look, you got to take all these classes over again.
Right.
F,
Right.
D, F.
Right.
You can't go nowhere with these grades."
So Loyola Marymount was there to recruit you.
Man, yeah.
You would have played
yeah.
with Hank Gavis, probably.
Man,
right?
yes. And so that I was one quarter before I had that intervention with him,
Right.
from being dismissed from Alameda.
Wow. So you was
Right.
just ball.
And it was just crazy. It just shows you how lazy and trifling I was.
Mhm.
After that, it was nothing but like mid threes,
Right.
all A's and B's after that. You know
So
what
which
I mean?
mean that if you had to put the effort in a long time, you
Yeah,
would
I
have been gone.
didn't know I
Been up the
could
road.
have did it, but I just wasn't doing it.
Right,
You know what I mean?
right.
And so but I did so bad that I couldn't get a scholarship
At that time.
at that time. I had
Right.
to take all those classes over.
Okay.
That's when I started coaching with you, helped coaching with McHugh
Right.
the next year with you guys.
Right. Right.
That year, and I was going to school to get my grades up, which I made the dean's list
Yeah.
all those times.
All those
right?
times, exactly.
And so, and then I eventually went to University of the Pacific.
So you got a scholarship,
Yes.
University of Pacific. Tell us about that experience.
Oh man, it was horrible, man. I mean, it was during that time. I mean, I'm an Oakland kid,
Of course.
and I'm, wasn't exposed to a lot of things. I was just exposed to the village. I was the village and through the Rainbow Center.
Right.
To Lockwood. That was my little triangle. That was it. You know what I mean? Between those three things, didn't go nowhere else. And so for me to go to the University Pacific was just straight culture shock.
So you're in Stockton now?
Yeah, I'm in Stockton. And Stockton is not that far away.
Not that far away, but it's a different world, especially back then.
It's a predominantly white school.
Right.
I didn't realize that black people didn't really go to college. So, man, I'm at that school, and I'm like all toe up, man. I'm like, man,
looking around. Right.
Where's everybody at? You know what I mean? Man, I used to be just, man, depressed, man.
Right.
And, the coach there, but, going back, what I want to say is I should have probably went to Loyola Marymount, but I used to hear stories about the Crips and the Bloods.
So you was.
Yeah, because they stayed on me.
Wow.
They stayed on me, but it was in Los Angeles.
Right, I remember. Right.
And so they used to, remember back in the day, they used to like, you can't say blood. And we used to say blood all the time.
That was our main word.
And I'm like,
blood,
I'm not going to go there and get killed.
Right.
I can't help saying blood.
Right.
It's in me.
Right.
And so I just, and then they didn't sound right.
Right.
When they was recruiting me, they used to always say, and it turned out to be true. I just never heard it at the time. Right. Remember they had that fast offense where they shot really quick and they scored 150, 160 points a game.
Showtime.
So when he was on the phone, he used to be telling me, we're going to put in a new innovative offense where we're going to try to shoot the ball under 6 seconds. And I'm like, huh? 6 seconds? Like, what? Right. That just sounded crazy to me. And I was like, and it's in LA. And I would have. Man, I would have been averaging 30 a game.
That's what I'm about to say.
Man,
you would have became a better shooter, much stronger, and more advanced.
But there was other issues.
Okay.
Right? I loved Coach McHugh.
Yes, sir.
Right? He put me on. He gave me my confidence. But Coach McHugh was run and gun. Right. Didn't teach any defense. Right?
Now, we learned defense at Fremont.
Yeah, I learned. I didn't even, to be honest, I love Mr. Alamano.
Right.
Right, but we played zone. We didn't really learn defense too much at height.
Markulis had to play man-to-man.
Yeah,
right.
Alamano, we didn't play too much. So I didn't really understand how to play man-to-man defense.
Switch off.
Going to the University Pacific. And so
when
I was at UOP, yes, I could score. But to be honest, defensively, I just wasn't up to par.
And this is a good story for the youngsters to understand. When you come out of high school, when you go to college, everybody's a star. And there's going to probably be a role you're going to have to play, and you might not like it.
Yeah.
So you at UOP.
Man, when I went to UOP, that was the first eye-opener because, yes, I was probably the best scorer they had there.
Chris Gray was there.
Chris Gray was there. We had this cat named James Ray Richardson. He's called him Mop.
Okay.
I played with Brent. Our best player was Brent. His dad was all-time Laker. Can't think of his name right now. His dad is one of the famous Laker center. Yeah. Okay. And Brent was our best player.
Okay.
And so I went to when I went there, it was even though I was probably the best scorer, it wasn't like it was that separated. You know what I mean? Like everybody could shoot.
Right.
Everybody could jump. Everybody was quick. Right. And so I could put it all together, but it wasn't like I was way better. Right. And they knew how to play defense better than me.
Because they come from a different organizations coming up in high school and all that. They played.
Yeah, fundamentals, right? And so McHugh didn't really teach proper man-to-man defense. So I go to UOP where they're running a flex offense, and I'm getting hit with this flex. I'm just not understanding these screens. Not how to jump to the ball, not knowing anything, man. And I was just looking bad out there. So I didn't really play. And I was so frustrated, that I couldn't understand. Like, man, I'm out here killing these fools, man.
Right.
But I'm thinking offense, and as later on, I'm realizing, as a mature, man, I was tripping. I couldn't play no damn defense.
Right.
And so I wound up transferring. I wound up leaving after being held hostage by my teammates.
Right.
Man, they were like, "You're not going nowhere," and I'm like, "Man, I'm leaving." And they kept me in the house.
So were you having conflict with the coach? Anything?
I was just frustrated, man. I didn't talk back or
anything. Right.
I did used to do little things to show him up.
Right.
I'm not going to even lie. I remember we played. We played at the University of Montana. It's cold out there. That was the first time I ever been to Montana.
Right.
18,000 people. I mean, it's packed.
It's packed.
Right.
Right.
And I remember I knew I wasn't going to play, and but in warm-ups, I remember shooting, and then I get on a rhythm, and then I'm going deeper and deeper and deeper, right?
Right.
And so as I'm going deeper, I could just, once I start getting to the three and I'm hitting, man, I probably hit about maybe 15 to 16 shots in a row, right? From the 3-point line, I'm hearing, oh, then I go deeper, oh, and then the crowd is just going crazy.
It's doing warm-ups.
This is doing warm-ups, right? And I'm just pulling threes and just hitting them all the way to damn near half court.
Okay.
And I just remember I hit that last one in the crowd, oh, and I remember I turned to the coach and just looked at him like that and just went and sat down.
Oh, right. So you were showing him up.
Just trying to show him up.
Yeah,
and that was, I was a very immature thing.
You was young.
And I didn't know what to do, and he probably thinking to myself, I would love, because he used to always look at me like when we'd be struggling, he'd be looking like he wanted to put me in, but he was like, all he gonna do is get burnt defensively. You know what I mean? I didn't realize that at the time. I'm just thinking, man, this fool ain't trying to play me.
Right.
And so that's why I left. And then, so my teammates were trying to hold me. They was like, no, you're not going to leave.
Right.
And I'm like, man. And I remember they fell asleep. One of them went to the store.
Right.
And I called my girlfriend.
So you was trying to get up out of there for real.
Man, I was serious, bro. Had my bags packed, everything.
Right, everything.
And I took, come get me, man. As soon as I had that little break, she drove up, got me, took me home. And then that's when I came back home. And then I remember Hayward, they wanted me, but it was Division II, and I didn't want to go to, I'm not going to go to Hayward. But the guy called me, and I remember coming home, and I saw Eric Williams had played Hayward had played San Jose State. Now, Eric Williams was one of my heroes.
He went to Fremont. Kevin brother.
Kevin's brother. I mean, he was just one of my heroes. Man, you couldn't tell me nothing about Eric Williams. He's one of the coldest cats. And he had went to San Jose State.
Sure did.
Played with Bill Berry. Then he transferred to Hayward.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, well, it's good enough for him.
Right.
And then they played San Jose State, and they beat him. Eric had 30-something points. Okay. And I was like, I'm going there, right? And I remember I showed up. I decided I'm going to go to Hayward. I go to the office, and Gary Host is, down, he's writing something, his head is down. And I walk in his office and I said, hello, my name is Ryant Diew.
Right.
And he was like, I know who you are. And I said, I wanna come here. I wanna play here.
Right.
And he was like, oh. Man, that fool got up there and took me straight to Warren Hall and registered me right there. Immediately. He was like, "Oh my God!"
Right. Because this is what we've been wanting for a while.
Yeah. And so that was my.
At UOP, how many games did you play before you left?
Man, I didn't play. He put maybe one game.
No, I'm talking about in terms of. It was
maybe 9, 10.
You say I'm out.
I said I'm out.
So you left in the middle of the season.
Yeah, I left in the middle of the season. And the thing is, when I went back to go get the rest of my stuff, we had 19 players on the team. They finished the season with 8 players. So I was just the first to leave. And then they fired that coach.
Wow.
Yeah, he was a racist, man. It wasn't. He was cool. He used to say little comments, man.
I remember one about, hey, this ain't Oakland.
I remember our first practice. We had a player by the name of Danny Embick from Oregon. He was our star recruit, 6'5", white guard, could shoot. Okay. And I remember him, but I'm from Oakland, you know what I mean? I'm like, he your top recruit?
Right.
Okay. Right. So first practice, I'm at the top of the key. He's guarding me, and I'm thinking he hella slow, right? So I get it, and I just hit him with an in and out, go to the hole. And we had a big center from Germany named Holger First. Okay. Tried to block my shot. I scored over him.
Right.
And I'm thinking, I'm feeling good, right? And then I remember he just went.
Who, the guard, the guy with
coach.
The coach.
Mr. Diew, wow, that is outstanding. He said the only problem is we don't play ghetto ball here.
Uh-oh.
He said it just like that.
That's not a good choice of words.
I was like, oh.
He can say street ball, but not ghetto.
Ghetto ball. He's always say, yeah, well, you mad? You go back to that ghetto I got you out of. He used to say that to James Ray Richardson. Oh yeah, man, he was just a borderline racist.
That's no good.
Yeah, so he wasn't cool. I have no love lost for that
at all.
guy.
Right,
yeah.
exactly.
Tom O'Neill.
Right,
that's his name.
That's his name. Okay,
yeah. He wasn't cool.
Not at all.
And so
go back to the ghetto I got you out of.
Yeah, man. It was. He said that to. I heard him say that to Mop. I was like, James Ray Richardson.
Yeah.
He was from Watts.
From Watts.
LA.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it just wasn't cool.
Exactly.
So that experience wasn't good.
Right. So you went on to Cal State Hayward.
I went to Cal State Hayward, and then that's where I learned defense.
Okay.
Gary Host taught me how to really, and I picked it up really, pretty
Because you was already athletic, you know how to move.
Yeah, he just, how to jump to the ball.
Right.
To different positioning. Just he had so many drills to really teach me the understanding how to play defense without working hard, without following your man, right? And just being in the key. And your man can be far, but you in help position.
You between the ball and the man.
And you still seeing your ball in the hand. And like he broke it down to where it was just so easy for me. And it's how I teach defense today.
Correct.
And it was so Gary Host, man, I mean, man, I had love for him, man, because he just had confidence in me. I remember my first game. Hayward was funny, right? Because I was a D1 transfer,
right? And
so when I went to Hayward, I don't know if people really, I'm an adrenaline player, right? And so I have to be nervous. I have to be excited. If I'm not excited, I don't do too good,
exactly.
Right?
The challenge is what gets you.
Yeah, right? And so practices was humdrum.
Right.
And so I remember in our practices, I used to look average, horrible, and I know everybody used to be like, he come from the University of Pacific?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, he ain't all that.
Right.
And so we would have scrimmages right before the season every Friday, and I don't think I had no more than, I think the highest I scored in any scrimmage was like 6.
Right.
Right?
Because just the effort wasn't there.
Yeah, it just wasn't. I just wasn't. Everybody knew how I played, what I wanted to do. Mm-hmm. I just didn't really get off. And then I remember right before I got eligible for, I missed the cutoff of playing against the University of Pacific.
Wow.
And I remember sitting in that game. I wanted to play in that game so bad.
Right, to show him.
But I had one more game to sit out before I was eligible. Lorenzo, my backcourt mate, had 25. Right?
I remember him.
Lorenzo Hall could go.
Yeah, I remember him.
He had 25 in that game. And I'm like, if he killed them, you know what I mean? I would have had about 35, 40, right?
With no problem.
And I remember our assistant coach, Vandy, he was sitting next to me and he said, I guess he was going off of what he saw in practice. And he said, Ryan, you might start off slow. So I don't want you to get, feel like you have to rush everything and it might not be as quick as you might think. And I'm thinking to myself, and I didn't say this to him, but I'm looking like, he don't know me.
Yeah, I'm about to get with
right? And I remember the next game, it was our first game. Coach Gary Host didn't have me in the starting lineup.
Because he was talking about bringing you in slowly, basically.
They was going to bring me in slowly. And I remember we sitting up there, and I was cool with it. I didn't trip. I hadn't been playing. And I remember he had the starting lineup, and then in the middle of his speech, he got quiet, and then he erased the board, and he just threw me in there. And he was like, I'm going to go Ryan. He just had a feeling.
Right.
And it was just crazy because, man, it was adrenaline player. Man, I just from 25 first game, just boom, just.
So how was that game? I mean, you
oh man, I was tired because I was winded. I hadn't played in a couple of years.
But you
really, but I was hitting everything, man, and it was just something that they hadn't seen in anybody score like that.
Executive Division II.
Yes, and man, I 25 first game, and man, every game Man, it was like, that was the one thing I prided myself in is consistency.
Yes, sir.
So, like if I had a bad game, it would be like 19.
That's
you know what I mean? You always can pretty much count damn near 20. You can go to put at least 20 down.
Right.
You know what I mean, or it's gonna be higher.
Right.
Where I struggled though, and I have an article. It's funny because this was true. I had such high standards for myself in terms of being a shooter that I think I was averaging my first year. I was averaging like 19.9 a game because I remember the article, and I was shooting like 43% from the floor. Now, any college guard today, if they had those stats, and I was shooting maybe 35 from three, but if any guard today had those stats, they'll be, like, oh, I'm the man or whatever.
Right.
Man, I was contemplating quitting basketball.
Because of the fact you wasn't up to
par.
Man,
I wasn't up to par. I was like, man, I don't miss like this. Like, I was really tripping, right? And people wouldn't believe me if I'll show you the article, right? Where there was with me, I was just like talking about maybe like I'm done. Yeah, it was
I have that article.
It was Oakland Tribune.
I have
I was averaging 19.9. I was shooting like 43% from the field, but I was struggling. And I remember I had a teammate, Don Johnson, and he said, Ryan, I know why you're struggling because you're trying to force it. And I was like, you don't even play, right?
Right.
And and he just kept coming back to me. He said, Ryan, just try playing through the offense. And I'm like, right. And then I think I had a game where I went like 6 for 22. It was another one of those bad games.
Right.
And I'm like, man, I'm washed up, right?
That's how you feel.
And
this is your second year.
This was my first year. Because I remember I had set out that year for Alameda, and then I didn't really play much at UOP. Right. So it was probably like two full seasons before I had played, right? And so I was thinking I was just done, and he said, man, just try it. And I was like, all right, whatever. What I got to lose?
What I got to lose, right?
Man, I played out the offense, man. My average went to like 25.
Quick.
It was just taking quality shots.
Watching you, right?
Man, I'm like, oh.
Is that what they would transfer to the language of let the game come to you?
Let the game come to you.
Yes, sir.
And it was just, I was like, wow. And I was just learning that you don't have to force things, right? You get better shots now. You can make shots on less attempts, right? And so yeah, that was how I broke in to Hayward.
And then you got some records up there.
Yeah, and I wound up. I think I left as the second all-time leading scorer because I didn't play enough games.
Exactly.
I was a transfer, so I'd sit out the first 9 or 10 games.
Right.
My junior year, and then in those days you had 5 years to play 4.
Correct.
Right, and so remember I went to Alameda just for academics only.
Correct.
But I was a full-time student. My clock was still ticking. Okay. So my senior year, Gary Holtz called me into the office and said, Ryan, I got bad news for you. I said, what's up, coach? He said, you only have 1 quarter left to play basketball here at Hayward. And I'm like, what? And I'm like, oh, so he said, this is what we're going to do. The first semester or first quarter, you only take 11 units, but you can't practice with the team.
And this was
going into my senior year.
Between September and December.
Yeah. Right. And so I had to sit out again those first 9, 10 games.
Right.
And I couldn't even practice with the team.
Right.
And so that was pretty rough, going into my senior year. And, our first game was against, I forgot who it was against. It was somebody. I had a bad game. I scored like 17.
Right. That probably was around January.
Yeah, and I think I had like 17 in my first game that season. Forgot who it was against. Okay. I probably shot like 5 for 15, 5 for 16. Right. And then the second game was against Sac State, which at the time was a powerhouse. They were beating D1 teams.
Kenny Drummond, he went to Sac City.
Chris Farr.
Yep.
Chris Farr, man, that cat, best passer I've ever seen in my life, man.
Right.
Jason Kidd before Jason Kidd.
Yes, he was. He was from LA too. Was he from?
No, Chris Farr from Richmond.
Richmond.
Yeah,
that's right.
And Alex Williams.
Who, He could
shoot just as good as me.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? I mean, man, but he probably was more. He was technical.
Right.
But
Like
that cat
like
could,
Clay Thompson.
And so
dude, yeah.
Alex was the NCAA record breaker in threes. He was shooting making 10 threes in a game back then. Like, I mean, he had made like, I think he broke the record.
Threes.
I think he made like 350 threes in one season. It was crazy. Like he was just putting up, and they had a cat named Robert Martin who made like 181 threes. So they was just shooting threes.
And back then the offense wasn't.
They beat Texas A&M.
Right.
They lost to Syracuse by like 2 or 3. They were really good. And so that was my second game. And I started off pretty bad. I think I had like 7 in the first half, and then I got going, and I wound up scoring like 38.
Okay.
And I got.
You remember what year this is?
This was my senior year.
So this would be 87,
It
88?
was about 88.
88, okay.
Yeah, and then so after missing practices, I couldn't be a full-time student. Missing the first 11 games, it took me just 2 games to get back, you know, and then I was cool.
Okay.
After that.
So after Cal State Hayward, we go into, you ended up now.
Yeah, I could have did a lot of things, right?
Okay.
But I was more practical. I was looking to try to, play, professional basketball, but I did like some little lightweight Mexico.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And did that, but it wasn't enough. It wasn't. I didn't get paid enough at the time.
Right.
And I remember I would play in the pro-am.
In San Francisco.
Played in San Francisco Summer Pro League, and I played in Sacramento. And in Sacramento, I'm playing against pros, Mitch Richmond,
right?
Bobby Hurley. Harold Presley was my teammate.
Wow, right. Harold Presley about 6'7", 6'8".
6'8".
Yeah, he
played Villanova.
Yeah.
Won a national championship. Got picked 17th by the Kings.
He
was a starting guard for the Kings.
Right.
And he was on my pro-am team.
Okay. In San Francisco.
In Sacramento.
Okay.
And so I played between both of them.
Got it.
And so Sacramento was basically my main thing because it was more consistent.
Correct.
Oakland, in San Francisco, I played with the Believers.
Oakland
Believers.
Belford. Okay, right. Belford.
RIP, I love Belford.
Right.
Belford was a tough dude.
Okay, all right.
He called you all kind of rookies. And
Right. He gonna bring it out.
All these war stories.
Right.
But in Sacramento, I used to lead that league I led that league in scoring like 7 years in a row. Playing with pros, against pros, and people wouldn't believe that either. But I have the book.
I believe.
I have the book. This guy named Bob Roach, who coached us, he wrote a book, and he had all his years of every team he coached. And when I show everybody, I had Jim Les, I think he's the coach at UC Davis.
Okay.
And Jim Les played in the NBA, point guard.
Right.
Rich Manning, who played in the NBA, played for the Vancouver Grizzlies. Harold Presley, who was first-round draft pick and a starting guard for SAC. And I played with those guys, and man, I was the number 1 option on our team.
So
it was crazy. And I was working at the probation department because after college, my boy Chuck Lockhart got a job at Juvenile Hall.
Because Chuck played at Cal State.
At Cal State Hayward, so he was like, man, my first check was $1,200. I'm like, $1,200?
Money, we talking about money.
Man, I'm like, man, where you get that job? So I applied for the probation department, wound up getting on as an intermittent, which allowed me to play basketball
when you needed to.
When I needed to. If I wanted to play professional, I can go, come back, do the intermittent thing, right? But I remember playing in the pro-am, and it was the best advice that I ever had, right? And I remember, like I said, I was killing between both leagues.
Right.
And I remember Aaron Goodwin, who's, agent. Right. Aaron had an agency, and he had a guy that was his overseas guy.
Okay.
Who dealt with the overseas people. Right. Because I used to talk to Henry Turner. I think he used Henry was one of his clients.
Henry was in China, I think, right?
Henry was, I think, in Greece at the time.
Okay.
And so I remember this guy, he asked me what I wanted. I told him exactly what I wanted. He said, man, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. He said, you got a great job.
Right.
And he said, they want Scottie Pippen for minimum wage overseas. He said, I'm not gonna lie to you, you're really good.
Right.
You're really good. He said, but guards are a dime a dozen. And I never forgot that. Right. And I relay that to my kids, and I know they get tired of hearing that.
Right.
But I always tell them, man, when you're a guard, man, you gotta be really good.
You gotta be able to do something
because there's millions of them.
Millions.
Right?
And you talking about guys that's 6'10" now that can bring the pill.
Man, yeah. So when they have a 6'10" or Kevin Durant, what do they need you for? You know what I mean? You see what Houston is doing.
Right.
Right? You know, they got a bunch of 7-footers on the floor.
Absolutely.
And so he had told me that, and that pretty much made the decision for me. Right. And so I remember I went to Mexico one last time and I got homesick.
Right.
And my son Ryan was born.
Right.
And I'm sitting up there like, what am I doing?
Right.
Right. And I just kind of, decided I wasn't going to do it anymore.
Right.
So I would only play in the Pro-Am. And what stopped me from playing even in the Pro-Am, my last game in the Pro-Am was against Gary Payton and Jason Kidd and Brian Shaw.
And James Daly was on that team and all that. Right?
It was, man, we was playing against Bay Pride.
Bay Pride.
Right.
Yeah.
And I remember, because I had been playing with Sacramento.
Okay. And
Belfort used to get on me, man. He used to get on my nerves, man. Like I said, I love Bell, but he used to be on me. And I for about 3 or 4 weeks, I had not been going to the San Francisco games.
Gotcha.
So Belfort, they were about to play Bay Pride, which was the top team in San Francisco. And he said, Ryan, man, why you not playing with me? Why you can't play with me? I need you this weekend. I said, Bell, I've been playing in Sacramento. Right. And he said, so you just gonna drop my team for the white man? I said, Bell, the white man don't get on me like you get on me. Right. I gotta hear your mouth for everything. And he said, but don't I play you the whole game? I said, yeah, but I gotta fight you the whole game. Right. He said, man, well, we need you. I'm like, Right. So I decided, okay, we play in the Bay Pride against all them NBA players. Right. Let me go play. Right. And so I show up. LeRon Armstrong, who was the chief. Yeah, for OPD at one point. LeRon's a good player. Okay. He played at Sac. He played at Sac State. He got a scholarship. He was a good point guard. Okay. LeRon was on my team, and I remember coming in, and I remember LeRon. He was a little younger than me, so know, LeRon used to just think I was the best player. He's like, oh man, we about to win. He was like, man, my boy is here. My boy is here. And I said, and I wasn't that enthused because I'm like, shit, we about to play Gary Payton. Right. Jason Kidd, Brian Shaw. I'm like, man, Antonio Davis. I'm like, man, these cats is good. Right. And he was like, man, he said, man, we gonna win now, man. We got you. And I'm like, J Kidd is pretty good, strong. He can't mess with you. So I'm like, oh man, okay, So he pumped me up and shit. And I'm like, oh man, what am I doing? So we start the game off. Okay. And I remember they clowning our squad. I didn't start. Okay. I coming off the bench and because I hadn't been there. Right. And so it was 20-0, man. They throwing the ball off the glass. Brian Shaw throwing the ball off the glass. Antonio fucking him backwards and whatever. So they clowned. Oh man, they clowned it, man. It was 10-0. So Belfort puts me in the game. And I remember Gary, and I don't know if Gary remember this, but it happened because there was a lot of people that saw it. And he says it was a cat named John Sykes who was the starting point guard at USF at the time. He was also on that team. So John came to guard me. So Gary said, "Hey man, get that nigga, man." Right. He said, "Man, he can shoot." Right. John was like, "No, I know Ryan. I got him. So 2 quick buckets, quick. Right. And he was like, hey, switch, Jay. So he put Jay Kidd on me. Okay. And he said, man, get him, man. Right. Don't let him get rolling. Right. And then, man, 10 straight on Jay Kidd. Like 10, it was 10 quick. Gary was hollering at him all game. And so they was trying everybody, and I'm just going to work, right? So I had 26 at halftime, and we caught up. And then At the end of 3, I had 39, and now we're up.
And you coming off the bench.
Yeah,
Playing against NBA players. You was active NBA players at the time.
Yeah. And so I remember fourth quarter, Gary comes out and was like, dude, that's it.
Right.
That's it. You ain't getting no more.
Right.
And I remember the first play, right? And I know it's going to be controversy because he the glove, He the glove.
Right.
But, man, to me, you Gary.
Right.
Right? So that didn't mean nothing to me.
Right.
So the first play, he comes up at the top and he's like, you know,
yeah, with
you ain't getting no more. You know, he had
yeah.
this right. And I just remember I just get him and hit him with an in and out and just go to the hole. And I scored. They had a couple of big dudes.
Right.
Scored and won. And I just remember LeRon on the side talking about, I told you, y'all can't stop him. Y'all can't stop him. I mean, Keys are going crazy because they like the underdogs.
They like the underdogs.
They like the underdogs, and they going crazy, man. And I wound up scoring like 46. We lost though on the last second shot. I threw it to my boy Brian, Big Beaver.
Big Beaver, yeah, I remember Big Beaver.
For the last second, we was down 1. I threw it to him, and he missed the shot at the buzzer. We wound up losing by 1.
Right.
And I just remember after the game, man, B-Shaw, man, they just all was just hugging me, man. They was just like,
like you showed up and showed out.
He was just like, man, God damn, man.
Right.
It was like, man, your ass, you know, they was just really tripping. And man, I just remember being disgusted after that game because they was jumping in there, Lamborghinis and Porsches and all that. And I had to work a graveyard shift at the probation department that night. And I remember driving to Bay Bridge and I was like disgusted. I was hurt kind of like, damn, man, I got this game that's going nowhere, right? And I remember just telling myself, this won't, because I didn't have the support. My mother didn't really know anything about basketball.
Absolutely.
And so I remember telling myself, this will never happen to my son. This will never happen to any kid that I deal with. They're gonna always hear the real. They're always gonna have the support. Right. And that's where my passion comes from today. Like with kids, because I don't need to make money off of kids. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm, you know, I just love basketball so much. When I see a little guy that wants it, I'm like, oh, little man, you want this?
Right.
Oh, we're gonna get it for you. You know what I mean? That's my whole thing. So I'm gonna teach you everything I know. Right. And so that's where my passion comes in. And it's like I like parents to know, if you bring your kid with me, you safe. He don't owe me nothing. Right. Like I'm never gonna come back and say, kid owe me this, whatever. Right. It's just pride to know, wow, I work with that youngster.
And you want to give him the support that you didn't have.
That I didn't have.
And it wasn't on purpose, it's just that your mom was a worker.
Yes.
And she didn't know nothing about sports.
She didn't know nothing.
She had you at a young age.
And she had to work.
And she had to work.
Yeah, and so I'm just, you know, I'm a person, I truly believe in karma. Absolutely. Right? And I'm not a religious person. I never, you know, I didn't go to church. I'm not in it. I don't know anything about the Bible, anything. But I figured, I was like, damn, I might burn in hell. Right. But maybe if I treat the best that we have good, which is kids, maybe he'll have some mercy on me.
Absolutely. Right.
You know what I mean?
That's
how I look at it.
So you coached, I remember you coached the Rebels for how many years?
I coached the Rebels for about 17, 18 years.
And you was with Mel?
Yep, I was with Melvin, man. I love Melvin.
Oh yeah, Mel a good dude.
Yeah, I love Melvin. But they didn't have a high school program.
So now you're in.
And so now I started my program, which is Team California, which is really a nonprofit. It's not a basketball team.
Right.
We have a basketball team, but it's really a nonprofit, the California Academic and Athletic Academy. Okay. Which offers tutoring. Okay. It offers mental health.
Yes, sir.
It offers science science and STEM.
Okay.
Mentorship.
Right. Okay.
I had everything in place, but we didn't have a facility until now.
Go ahead.
And so now we have a facility we partner with Allen Temple. Okay. Who has a gym, they have classrooms, and now that allows us to offer everything. And so our basketball team is Team California, which is a using basketball as a hook to get kids into these other programs.
Because we know what happens. If
Yes.
you can't make it in basketball, then what do you
Yeah,
turn to?
you gotta, and then you have kids, man, that I mean they stress. Their parents expect for these kids to be NBA players, right?
Definitely know about that.
At 8, 9 years old, right? Everybody
right.
think their kid going to NBA, and so as soon as your kid get in the car, he got to hear your mouth. You
Right.
never even played yourself,
Right,
But
exactly.
you go, your kid 10 years old better than you ever was.
He's gonna be the
but
next
you go
Stephon
tell
Curry.
him
Right.
how to play basketball, right? And so the kids got to go through that. Now they'll be able to have somebody to talk to,
Exactly.
right?
And bring them into reality.
Yeah, and if a kid is struggling in school,
Okay.
we got help for them, right? If
Okay.
kid want to learn STEM, and
Right.
so these are things that as our program gets bigger, I want to expand it. I want to
Okay.
expand it to golf.
Right.
I want to expand it to travel baseball because we used to, in the major leagues, you'd be a lot of blacks.
Exactly.
Right now, it priced us out a little bit, so it's
Right.
rare that you see African Americans playing baseball. So
Okay.
I want to be able to bring traveling baseball to where everything is free.
Like we had, what was it, trailer truckings?
Yes.
With Steve and all them
Yeah,
back then. I mean,
yeah.
baseball was bigger than basketball.
Baseball was big, man.
back
Everybody
then, yeah.
played baseball.
At Greenland Field and all, in Royal Park, all that.
Yes, and so I want to be able to, everything, every month, every dime, every grant, every dollar we get,
Okay.
it's going to go back to the kids.
Absolutely.
Right, and so I don't need to make money off. I'm doing fine, man.
I appreciate that. And what we'll do is we'll share that information
Yeah.
and put it on the screen and
Okay.
everything, because I respect that for you, man.
Right on, man.
Hey, dude,
Yeah,
personally,
man.
I got to thank you too, because you helped me out.
Oh, okay.
When I was in the 10th grade, you took me under your wing. When I was in college, playing basketball, you took me under your wing. Like I said, we used to play at Alameda College. You were like, hey, Wayne, we going to UC Berkeley. You want to get better? Go. We used to play against Kevin Johnson,
Yeah.
Chris Washington.
Yeah.
We used to go over there and play.
You know what, man? That came from seeing guys who had a little success in high school,
Right.
And then they would walk like, when you were cool with them,
Right.
And then the next day they get
don't
in the
know.
paper, they don't know, act like they don't know you.
Exactly.
And I'm like, where'd that come from? You know
Absolutely.
what I mean? And I always made up my mind that I would never
I
be like
appreciate
that. Like I'm always, gonna try to help the next person, or never, stay with my same friends.
Yes. No doubt about you did that.
Man,
'Cause you, like I said, you used to help me, because Mr. Q, when he had me on the team in college, I was always getting in the fights.
Yeah.
He used to have to go grab me like, Q, dude, go get him. Dude, Adams. And remember, he used to always tell me, look, I don't want to hear nothing you got to say. Write to Congress. And then you grab me, you like, Wayne,
I remember that.
Look, man, you and David Simmerl.
Yeah.
Y'all used to calm me down and everything. So, man, I appreciate it, man.
Oh, yeah,
I love you,
it's
brother.
all good. Love you too,
You my
man.
dog, man,
Oh,
for sure.
yeah,
That's
man.
why I call him
I'm here to
Godfather.
support you, man.
Absolutely, man. And
And I'm just proud of you, man,
Thank
and
you.
just with your venture, man, and how you're just staying focused.
Thank you.
And the stuff that you're doing, man, with the league.
Right.
It's just beautiful when I'm looking at your Instagram posts and seeing you just, man, you consistently
I appreciate
just
that.
stand with it no matter what.
Right.
With the shoes.
Right.
And,
Thank you.
Man, and the gear. It's just, man,
Right.
it's just beautiful, man.
I
I just
appreciate
want you
that.
to stay with it.
I definitely will, and I'm gonna always support you, Godfather.
Okay, right
All right,
on,
I
man.
appreciate
I appreciate
you, dude.
it,
Yes,
man.
sir, man. All right,
Okay.
good luck to you and your